from SHOT Show 2017. SHOT Show is one of the biggest shooting sports show in the world. It's happening right here in Las Vegas. I'm in the booth of Engel Fridges, Engel USA. They make coolers and fridges. You guys have seen it in the Overlander project that they sponsored us with a fridge. So today I want to talk with Rick here from Engel USA. He's going to kind of help us with deciding, do we need a cooler? Do we need a fridge? What are the pros and cons of each? And which one's going to be right for you guys for vehicle-based camping? First, let's talk about coolers. What are the kind of the pros and cons of a cooler rather than fridge?
Well, when you go to a cooler, especially if you're going to go upgrade to a high-performance rotomolded cooler like the Engel.
This is not your Coleman that you're going to pick up at Walmart for 30 bucks. Okay, this is legit. You're going to be long-term vehicle-based camping, overlanding. You really need to consider upgrading to one of these rotomolded style coolers.
If you're going to work with a cooler like this, then what you really need to do is you need to start thinking in terms of how can I get the most out of my cooler? How are you going to pack this thing? Keep as much of your initial groceries frozen as possible. When you pack your cooler, we talk about charging a cooler. So you take a cooler like this. This one right now is all room temperature. So the first thing you've got to do is get it from room temperature down to 38.
So you actually want to pre-cool the inside of it before you put all your food in it.
Exactly. So the night before you leave, throw a couple of bags of ice in there just to kind of get everything cold on the inside.
That's a good idea.
And then the morning of, when you're ready to pack, you can dump that ice out, save it. You pack with your frozen food. If you put beverages in there, they're already cold. We recommend using large blocks of ice. So either use like the Engel ice packs that are solid ice or pre-freeze gallon milk jugs. So you've got blocks of ice. The cube ice that you buy at the 7-Eleven or at the gas station is probably the least efficient ice.
The worst one
right.
to go with.
It's barely 32 degrees to start out with.
Yeah. Plus you got all that surface area, and all that surface area creates faster melt.
Right. Yeah. And then when it does melt, then all your stuff gets wet. That gets kind of a mess.
You guys have all done it. You open your cooler to get your sandwiches or your bread out, and it's turned into this soggy, gooey, massive organic slime. Your cheese. The worst thing in the world is when your cheese gets wet in a cooler. Horrible.
Yeah.
Advantage to a cooler, I would say initial cost is going to be a lot less than a fridge. Now if you're going to bump up to one of these heavy duty, these rotomolded ones, they're significantly more expensive than your run-of-the-mill Walmart cooler. But some of the advantages, number one, we talked about this being bear-proof.
Right.
These are certified bear-proof. There's some places that if you car camp and you don't have a bear-proof cooler, you leave it in your car, you can actually get a citation for that, a ticket for that. You can stand on this cooler, you can sit on this cooler, it's not going to hurt it. Being thermally efficient.
Right, so if you're in and out of...
It floats. Throw it overboard. Yeah, it's true. It would float.
It would float
because it's airtight.
Yeah, it does float. And this has saved many a life. The other thing too is when you're using the cooler, you want to be in and out as little as possible. So plan ahead. This is the kind of thing where, okay, once a day, we're going to go in, we're going to grab here's what we have frozen for dinner, comes out. Here's what we have frozen for this, comes out. Cooler gets closed, gets put away. You use another soft-sided bag that we could use, or a small little day cooler that you can use for your drinks and stuff to keep that kind of stuff cold.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I got little kids, and little kids are terrible for this when they want to open and close this 50 times a day to get their juice boxes out, right? If you're going to go cooler, then a couple of things also you need to consider is you're going to have to replenish your ice. So if you're on a long trip, you got to make sure that there are places along the way that you can stop and get ice to replenish, or once the ice is gone, it's gone.
Right.
Let's talk about fridges. Advantages to a vehicle-based fridge. Now, initially, one disadvantage is high cost.
Right.
Initially. But when I go camp, a lot of the places I go camping, especially at the lake, to put ice in your cooler is about $5 a bag. That adds up pretty quick. So, long term, I think high initial cost, but in the long run, it's going to save you a ton of savings on ice. But also, if we got the Engel cooler packs, now you can freeze your cooler packs in your fridge, transfer them to your cooler, and have the best of both worlds.
Right. You could essentially go on forever that way. The nice thing about an Engel, if you're running this in your truck, the amp draw is only between 0.7 and 2.5 amps an hour. So obviously when you're driving, that's no problem, and that gives you a chance to make sure your battery is fully charged when you stop. But then if you're stopped for overnight or for a day or so, you can let this thing run in maintenance mode where it's only drawn an amp or two. You can confidently go overnight or a day or so without having to worry about draining your battery, and still be good to go.
How big of a solar panel do you think would run this on a battery system? 80 watts maybe?
80 watts would be fine. I know that a 60 watt, we've run this off a 60 watt panel, and this runs 60 watt, no problem. What you want to do is you want to run your solar panel into your battery system. So you're using your solar panel to recharge your batteries. At 60 watts or 80, 90 watts, you're going to be getting more than enough charge to your battery so that the battery is charging and not it's compensating for the power that you're using.
What's a fridge like this cost?
You know, this fridge goes for about $850. We have a comparable model like this that has the metal sides. That's a little over $900. It sounds like a lot of money, but everybody that I've ever talked to after they bought one have come back to me and said, man, that was the best thing I ever bought. We've been making them for over 50 years, and there are guys that have had these things for 20, 30 years, and they're still using them today. The nice thing about this is side entry. Depending on where you're going to put this in your vehicle, you may want this kind of configuration. If you're going to put this in the back seat, so you're opening up the door here and coming here, then being able to open it up like that is nice. If you're going to put it in the rear of your vehicle, then this way makes more sense.
All right, guys, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. If you find this video helpful, consider going to our Patreon account and supporting the channel that way. If you're in the market for one of these fridges or one of these upgraded rotomotive coolers, go check out angelcoolers.com.
That's right.
Check out their whole lineup. They've got something that's going to do the job for you. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.